So Oprah Winfrey made headlines at the 75th annual Golden Globes last night for saying during her acceptance speech that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have.
Oh boy. So a lot of you sent me this video and I totally get why. And I'll be honest, it's not as cringy as the routine Tommy, but still highly entertaining. So let's hear what damning things Bootleg Tommy has to say about Oprah's speech.
Your truth. Not the truth. Oh no. Your truth.
I can't believe this video has 15,000 shares. It's nuts because the truth is that your truth versus the truth is such a nitpicky semantic argument. And if we know anything about conservatives, it's that they can excuse poor semantics when it's their team they're rushing to protect.
Our press secretary gave alternative facts to that. But the point remains.
Wait a minute. Alternative facts?
But if there's one thing that's not an alternative fact, it's that I have the thickest, best, hashtag MCNiest thirst traps on my Instagram. Yeah, that felt good. I hate myself.
In fact, NBC found Oprah's truth so profound that they openly declared her our future president in a tweet that they later deleted.
I love when the same conservatives keep laughing and saying things like Trump is just being Trump whenever he tweets official presidential statements like come and get me bitch at North Korea, and then those are the same people who lose their minds collectively over an NBC social media intern tweeting out a very obvious joke accompanied by a gif as if it's a legitimate presidential endorsement. The election is 3 years from now and Oprah has mentioned multiple times she has no interest in running. But okay, yeah, you're right, you caught us, you big conspiracy over here.
See, here's the thing about truth. The whole point of truth is that it is what it is, whether you like it or not.
Wow, what a profound statement. Oprah must hate the truth, right? Wrong. Oprah's reasoning for saying your truth rather than the truth was that the truth of the women in show business who have been mistreated, abused, and assaulted has for so long been discredited, denied, and otherwise obscured by men in positions of power that seeking that truth became dangerous. She was encouraging victims to speak out so that the truth can be seen by all, even those who deny it so they can continue feeding their audience misinformation like yourself. But go on.
If it weren't, then any criminal could argue that even though the evidence might prove that he did something, that's not his truth, so then he can't be held accountable for it.
Yeah, except in this instance, speaking your truth is actually holding criminals accountable in a system that otherwise helps criminals. So not sure what your argument is here. Like, what are you pro-rape?
So maybe Harvey Weinstein molested all those actresses and that's their truth, but maybe it's not his truth, so really who's to say?
Oh, so you're pro-Weinstein. That makes sense. Or wait, am I taking your words out of context?
You see the problem here? And it's funny how that seems to happen an awful lot in our society these days, doesn't it?
Oh, here we go. So launching off that Oprah quote, Brittany here will now go off on a tangent on old school conservative truths, unironically.
Like a baby's a baby until somebody decides that that doesn't fit into their world, and then suddenly it's just a blob because that's their truth.
We're talking about abortion now. Oh, okay, got it. This is the most slippery of all slopes. If we were more socially conscious of the treatment of women, then suddenly all babies are just blobs. Also, what are you basing your truths on baby murder off of? A book featuring a guy in a bathrobe performing magic tricks that no one can agree on the interpretation of? But do go on.
A male is a male until he just decides that he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, why not just throw a shot in there at the trans community? They've had it far too easy for far too long. Here's the thing though, the things you're trying to establish as the truth are nothing but your truths. For example, the way we treat trans people now is no different than the way we thought about gay people in the 60s and 50s. It was a mental disorder until recently. So how did that truth change? Probably because of people speaking their truths.
Because apparently the only time that the actual truth is worth a hill of beans to anybody these days is if it's convenient.
Hill of beans? Who writes your speech is Ned Flanders? Also, what a great final note to end on. After dismissing the idea that the other side is pushing this your truth narrative, you conveniently frame your backwards ass perspective as the truth. You do realize that throughout history, this same conservative rhetoric was used to object to every instance of progress, right? So universally accepted practices even you would have no problem with now as the truth were viewed much differently not that long ago. For example, the fact that you, a woman, can have a job on camera where people respect what you have to say is a rather new truth. And someone with your mindset in the 1940s would have likely made the argument that the truth is that women should stay in the kitchen. So I'm glad that people like MLK spoke their truths and encouraged others to do so at the time when people who shared your perspective thought very differently. Just like I'm glad that Rose McGowan and others had the courage to do so. Just like I'm glad Edward Snowden did, like Chelsea Manning. Just like I'm glad that Colin Kaepernick chose to voice their truths despite facing a mountain of adversity and a system that punish them. That is the system you uphold, by the way. It's rather unfortunate that millions of people still share your beliefs, but I'm hopeful because if history offers us one universal truth, it's the ultimate inevitability of progress. So yeah, guys, next time you're forced to endure a conservative truth on your timeline, hit him real quick with this video. Give it a share. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at HassanDPiker and on Twitter at HassanTheHun. And this has been The Breakdown.